So today we're going to talk about Handi Quilter rulers. Now the Handi Quilter rulers have been made specifically for use with a long arm quilting machine with a hopping foot, such as you see here. There is in a Handi Quilter Sweet 16 machine and the HQ 18 Avanti, there is a 1/4 inch measure between the needle and the outside of the round closed hopping foot. So each time a ruler is placed on the outside edge of your hopping foot, there is a 1/4 inch distance between where you stitch and the edge of your ruler. Each of the rulers has markings on them, and different rulers have different markings, so they can be used in various ways. For example, the long straight ruler can be used for basic straight line in the ditch quilting, cross hatching, and also with the 45-degree angles. You can easily line up off past your first line onto that to create a 45-degree angle across your block. There are many rulers available. Two of the most versatile rulers are the Versatool, which, as the name suggests, it is a very versatile little tool with lots of different angles and parts of the ruler that can be used for different things. The other most versatile ruler would be your simple straight ruler. This comes in both mini version and the larger version, depending on your preference and the application you're using it for. These are probably the most practical rulers to have in your ruler stash. After these two rulers, there is also many other practical rulers to use, such as this set of half circles. These come in a range of sizes, as you can see, which enables you to get many different size curves from them, both on the outside of the curve and the inside of each curve. This gives you a range of sizes from 1 inch up to 12 inches. These rulers can be used as a full half circle and create a full circle by going around the other side. They can also be used as part curves by just using the guidelines as a positioning tool. Pause. Some of the other rulers available are a set of full circles. These come in size from 2 inch up to the largest, which is a 12 inch. Now these can be used in the same way as the half circle set, just using the measurements to create a half circle, or you can of course continue around and go full circle for that effect. Using the lines again on your circles, you can also use them for different partial curves, and each circle, if you use them in the same way, will create a different angled curve. The other markings on your rulers that you see here allow you to create partial circles from one line to another as well, or again a more open curve, such as used on these quilts here. So instead of this curve, you could have a longer, more open curve by placing one of your lines here and creating a larger scallop. Pause. On the back of our rulers, we have placed a product called Clear Grip. Clear Grip is like a contact that isn't actually tacky. It sticks by static to the back of your ruler. Because it's clear, it leaves you free to see all the markings that Handi Quilter have put on there, but it does give you just a little bit more traction on the surface of your fabric than the ruler alone. we would highly recommend the use of clear grip on the back of rulers. Another thing to keep in mind is to not throw away the packaging that your ruler comes in. So each ruler comes in its own set of packaging, and on the back are examples of how that ruler can be used. So for each ruler there are different suggestions, as you can see, of ways that you can use that particular ruler on its own or in conjunction with others. Keep these as a handy reference. One thing you'll notice about the Handi Quilter rulers is they are 1/4 inch thick. Now this is specifically designed to be used with a long arm quilting foot, a hopping foot, and a standard ruler that we use for our rotary cutting should never be used with these machines. One thing that people have commented on in regards to ruler use with your machine is the fact that there is a little bit of a height difference here with the needle plate and the surface of the table. Some people have found that this gets in the way of their smooth use of the rulers. However, we haven't found that this is a problem, and one of the things that makes a big difference is the positioning of your hands in how you hold your ruler when you're stitching your project. However, Handi Quilter have thought of this, and they have created an overlay that will cover the entire surface of your table and leave just the needle plate exposed, eliminating the gaps here and eliminating much of that height difference that you may find is there when you're using your rulers. Some of the other rulers that are available are the right angle ruler, which is especially useful when it comes to stitching in blocks, around blocks, and also for things like chevrons. If we're doing the inside or a chevron style quilt design, then we need to use the inside of the right angle triangle, not the outside. The outside is great for straight line work, but the inside is what we use if we want to create a beautiful sharp corner on our design. Two other rulers that are available are the clamshell rulers, and these come, as you can see, in a variety of sizes. These have a space in between because when your needle comes around with your hopping foot, you've got to keep in mind that it keeps the needle away 1/4 inch. So the center position that your needle will finish in is right in the center, creating just a simple scalloped look like so. This is shown in this block here, where it is a simple point to point to point. So despite the fact that the design of the clamshell looks like you'd have a flat spot, it creates a point from one to the next. These can be nested, as you just saw, or can be used as a simple design around the outside of a block or border. Another ruler available is the mini circles. Again, you can use the outside edge as a simple straight line ruler, and then the inside as your different measures for smaller and smaller circles. For example, this is a 1/2 inch circle, because again, keeping in mind that you have the 1/4 inch of the hopping foot around, the inside will create a 1/2 inch circle. Pause. This ruler is especially helpful if you want to create smaller than 2 inch circles, as the smaller size you get in this full circle set and the half circle set is 2 inches. You can use the inside of this half circle as a 1 inch, but if you want to be able to stitch in one full continuous motion to create a beautiful line, then the small circle set is for you. Another set of rulers available are the swags, and these come in two different sizes and two different shapes. In terms of their width, one is a 6-inch width and one is a 4-inch width. As you can see, they come in different shapes of the curves themselves. They can be nested in their design, so you can have one over the other, such as we see in this design here. Or they can be used simply on their own. Handi Quilter has also made good use of the fact that we have space within that swag itself, so that they have given us the option of different shapes to use: a heart, a teardrop, diamond and circle as well. These can be used in conjunction with the swags themselves or on their own in some other form. As you can see, in the swag created on this quilt here, the inside diamond was actually used to create the joining for each of the swags. In this quilt, for example, we have the Versatool used for the curve here, and then up the other way to create a pumpkin seed effect. Then the swag, the 4-inch by 3-inch swag, to create the little curves in between. This angle is different to the Versatool itself, which creates an interesting effect and gives you more variety if you want more of a pointed curve, such as that one. Another ruler available is the mini Scalloped Ruler, in which case you get a beautiful curved line, which can be great especially if you want to add some free motion leaves, etc. to it after, to create an interesting vine effect, or just have that narrow sashing that you'd like to create something a little more interesting than a straight line. One thing to keep in mind with your long arm machine, the closed toe is designed to be 1/4 inch from the needle to the outside of the foot. Always have this foot on when using your rulers. This will enable you to have your ruler positioned 1/4 inch away from every angle around the foot. There are open toe feet that have the section at the front cut out. These are not suitable for ruler work because your ruler at that front section will not be 1/4 inch away from your ruler. When we hold rulers for our ruler work, we would have about half your fingers, 3 I find works, on the ruler and the rest of your hand off. You can find what suits you in terms of how much you support your ruler, and if you put the pressure around the hopping foot more than on the outside edge, then your ruler will not be disturbed at all by the needle plate underneath. Stay tuned for further hands-on demonstrations of the use of different rulers.